I'm telling.
No, I'm not doing it.
Inside of 20 laps to go in the lifelock.com 400 from Chicagoland Speedway. David Rudiman continues to lead his advantage over second place Carl Edwards. 2 seconds. The 99 is on the move. Fan, let's check in with Larry McReynolds and get the rankings of tonight's fastest pit crew. What do you got, Larry?
Adam, it was kind of a tough choice because these guys have been pretty flawless on pit road tonight. My #1 pick would be that Rodney Childers number 00. Get them about another 14 laps. They'll get their second win. Of course, their first win was that rain short win at Charlotte Motor Speedway last May. In the second position, how about Bob Osborne at 99 team? They only have one top 5 finish this year. That was back at Richmond when they finished 5th. And Shane Wilson in that 33 group, if they can hold on in the 4th position for about 14 more laps, they will leave here in the top 12.
Thank you, Larry. And fans, your vote counts each week, so be sure to text the car number to 2258 for the pit crew you think is the fastest and most valuable. The AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year Award, brought to you by AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network.
You know, Edwards is catching them a little bit, and I think a lot of it has to do with these guys are trying to stay on the lead lap. Yeah. Some of these cars that Rudiman is coming on. Now, when Edwards get to those guys, they don't have as much trouble because they're already a lap or 2 down. But they're going to fight the leader, and that sometimes a little bit is what, you know, all Edwards needs. He's picking off a 10th or 2 every single lap.
And another thing is, these guys that he's coming up the lap, the 78 car, the 2 car of Kurt Busch, they're not used to David Rudiman leading. Okay, they think David Rudiman's just coming. They're not sure he's a, you know, I know the spotters are saying he's a leader, but they're not used to this guy leading. And I'm going to say something. I'm going to give their pit crew. I loved what Larry just said, some of that. I'm going to give these guys, Rudiman's pit crew, a huge shout out, because when you get in this position for the first time, and really this is one of the first times that Rudiman's had a shot at really winning a race like this, you got to perform under pressure. These guys, you know, the pit crew's not been in this position any more than Rudiman has. So the whole team is in this position, and they all kind of rose to the occasion. Shout out to the pit crew on that stop.
Talk about scary moments. Rudiman trying to put Regan Smith a lap down, and Smith touches the wall.
That's you don't want to see that. You know what I mean?
No, you don't.
David's turning left. He's not paying any attention to what that 78 car is doing.
And Rudiman's now gone around Kurt Busch, who is now 2 laps down to the leader.
And you know, and Smith, he's running in the 19th spot.
Yeah.
So like I said, these guys are running as hard as they can to try to stay on that lead lap.
Some interesting names inside the top 10 tonight. Talk about Rudiman, talk about Carl Edwards. You know, Clint Boyer needs to be there. McMurray has done a solid job all night. And Denny Hamlin now just starting to surface. He's 8th in the late going.
Yeah. He's 8th with 10 laps to go, you know, and that's not characteristic. That's not a characteristic that you see from the Gibbs team. These guys are leading this thing with 8 or 10 laps to go. How sideways was that 00 car?
That's what I thought. It looked like he got a little sideways off the floor.
Which shows he's just still driving the wheels off of it.
He's still sideways right there.
He is still driving. He knows he's got to make some time because he knows they're telling him, just like Wally's been talking about Carl's there. They're telling him that, you know, you slip a little bit, Carl's going to be on you. And we've seen Carl, what he'll do on the last lap. He'll just run it in next to the wall and stand on it wide open to win a race.
The last time around, 1.8 seconds was the advantage for David Rudiman. It's up to 2.1 as you see the distance from first back to second, Carl Edwards.
It's going to be really, really hard to run that down unless you get stuck behind a slower car. I mean, you can lose a half a second in one corner if you get into some traffic and it doesn't work out for you. See how the 78 lays down for the 99. Rudiman didn't have it that easy.
Rudiman, and that's a perfect example of what Wally was talking about. How the leader laps the car. Well, now he's already a lap down. He's got nothing to lose by letting the second place guy go. And you see that so many times. And that's the most frustrating thing when you're leading and you're like, man, I need to get 4 cars in between me. And the 4 cars in between you and the second place guy, just pull over and let the second place guy go.
7 laps to go at Chicago. David Rudiman, not a big part of the conversation throughout the weekend here at Chicago, but he has been very good tonight. Started in the 7th position, stayed in the top 10 all evening long, and as the race lead, as he sees 6 laps to go. Heard the lap time being read off to David Rudiman.
6 to what got you there now. 6 to the line that got you there. Keep on your line, bud.
And this is the busiest time for a guy like Rudiman. There's 1,000 things going through this guy's head right now.
5 to go at the line.
He's trying to focus. He's looking in the mirror. I'll guarantee you he's looking in the mirror half the lap. Trying to make sure that that 99 car doesn't get any bigger in the mirror than it is right now. And he's stretching it now. He's up to just over 2 seconds on Carl Edwards.
Clear by half a straightaway.
And that's what you want to hear. you want to hear from your spotter and your guys that, you know, you're leaving them. Plenty of room, no pressure.
And I'm going to tell you, these guys have worked hard. You look at Truex, you look at Rudiman, you look at Michael Waltrip Racing and what they've built. You know, and I think when they won that first race, you know, everybody said it's a rain-shortened race. He was a 14th or 15th place car. I don't care. It's still a W in the column. When it's all said and done.
Inside, 12 car inside, still there. Still there inside.
And I don't think a lot of people begrudged him that because he had run like this in the past. He just hadn't been able to close. But tonight these guys are closing.
But it's a better win when you earn it. Like, not that he didn't earn Charlotte.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, they worked for it, they earned it, and they beat everybody on the racetrack to the finish.
Yeah, he'll have 2 wins. He'll have the first win that he had at Charlotte. I won a rain-shortened race one time 100 years ago. And you'll have that win, but you also have what you consider this is a win.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of wins that David has put up in his career. No matter what he's driven, he's won races in it. And this is just vindication for him to say, hey, I am a Cup winner. I can do this.
Rudiman closing on more lap traffic. It will be 2 to go at the line. Larry?
Hey, guys, how about David Rudiman leading this race with 2 laps to go? Just about 2 weeks ago, he signed a 3-year contract extension with Michael Waltrip Racing. He's capping it off here tonight, boys.
Sometimes a little job security will give you exactly what you need when you head to the racetrack on the weekend. David Rudiman did not want to see a caution late in this race, and once he takes the white flag, it will be one more time around.
White flag right here. He's 30 back.
Man.
You say, how far was he back?
30 back.
I don't think he's quite 30 back. He's off about 29, but that's okay.
That's all right, man.
Tell him what you want to hear on the last lap.
Tell him whatever. This is where we need an in-car camera. I'd like to see the expression on his face right here because he's got to just be so excited.
It's been 42 races since the aforementioned rain-shortened victory at Charlotte.
Tonight, baby.
That's incredible.
David Rudiman wins at Chicago.
Great run by Edwards also, but incredible run by Rudiman.
Yeah, you see a lot of these guys needed these runs. Guys like Boyer and Kane, McMurray. I mean, these guys really needed good finishes, and they got them tonight.
Burton finishes the deal for the 2nd week in a row, coming home in the top 10.
Good run from Menard, top 10. Nice run. Reagan got a good run. Yeah, I can't believe Kansas finished 13th. I mean, every time I looked at the scoring board, he was way back there in the 20s, and that guy just kept plugging.
Just solid.
Let's hear from the winning crew chief, down to Phil Parsons.
Rodney Childers, how about win number 2? Now, this one had no rain involved. This was the full distance, 400 miles, baby.
I don't even know what to say, really. These guys did a hell of a job and brought a good car here, and I don't even know what to say.
You guys did a great job here. You had flawless pit work. Had a little bit of a scare when you talked about a vibration, but you told me you thought that was just low air pressure.
Yeah, it went away after a few laps, and TRD did a really good job. And sorry I'm so emotional, but I really wanted this for David. You know, he wanted to win one on his own, and ever since we won that deal at Charlotte, he really wanted to do it on his own. So, you know, this one's for him, and everybody at TRD did a really good job. It's nice to have Tom's on the car, everybody at Aaron's, and man, I don't know what to say. I'd like to say hey to my wife and kids at home.
Rodney, by the way, he didn't do it by himself, buddy.
No.
Back to you, Adam.
Hey, I'm going to tell you, man, he said, I don't know what to say. That said it all.
Yeah, no kidding.
That said it all. The quiver in his voice and the emotion said it all. That's what a win means, man. That's incredible.
Nothing like the emotion of a victory in the Sprint Cup Series. We'll celebrate with Rudiman when we return. You're watching NASCAR on TNT.